So, what did the US government really know about UFOs? And I mean really know. We're not just going to speculate here. Today, we're actually going to crack open the Air Force's own declassified files. Yeah, we're talking Project Blue Book. And we're going to zero in on some of the strangest cases ever reported, right from the skies over northern Utah.
So here's the big question, right? When you have trained military folks, people who are supposed to know what's up there, reporting weird things in the sky, what did the official investigators actually find? Let's dive in and take a look at the files.
Okay, so first, a little background. What exactly was Project Blue Book? Well, it wasn't some kind of hush-hush secret side project. No way! This was the official U.S. Air Force program for studying UFOs. We're talking 17 years where if you saw something you couldn't explain in the sky, these were the people who took your report.
All right, you ready? Let's open our first case file. We're heading way back to the late 1940s, right at the dawn of the modern UFO era. And this is a classic, a sighting of flying discs directly over an Air Force base.
So let's break this down. The date, May 25th, 1949. The location, Hillfield, Utah. But here's what really makes you stop and think. The witnesses. These weren't just some random people. We're talking 2 U.S. airmen. And what they saw? Well, they reported seeing 2 distinct disc-shaped objects.
And it's the details here that really make this case so compelling. The airmen, a guy named Oakley Gordon and another named Wilfred Gable, they were super specific. They described seeing 2 blue and silver discs zipping along at an estimated 300 miles per hour right near the base's salvage yard. So, this wasn't some fuzzy, vague light in the distance. It was a clear report of a structured craft.
Okay, so naturally the Office of Special Investigations gets on it. They do their homework, they confirm, yeah, there was a P-51 pilot in the air, but he didn't see a thing. They also find out a weather balloon had been released around the same time. Aha! Case closed, right? Well, not so fast. Here's the kicker. The final report never says it was the balloon. Officially, the case was just left open. No firm conclusion.
And this right here, this is why they couldn't just brush it off. We've got a direct quote from Airman Gordon's actual written statement. He said he saw a globular object traveling at about the same speed as a C-47 transport plane. Now, think about that. A C-47 is a big military aircraft. It's not a balloon just drifting on the wind. He was describing something with real speed, real power.
All right, let's jump forward in time 15 years later to 1964. We get a totally different kind of sighting, but one thing stays the same. It comes from another highly credible witness.
This time, the scene is the Ogden Defense Depot. And our witness? A police guard. What he saw was definitely not a silver disc. He reported a fiery, pulsating object that just dropped out of the sky at an extreme speed behind Ogden Canyon.
And listen to this description. It's so vivid. The guard said this thing had a huge tail, like 10 times bigger than the object itself. And he was adamant in his report. He made it absolutely clear this was not a shooting star. It was something else entirely.
So what did the official investigation find? Well, here's the crucial part. Hill Air Force Base looked into it. They checked for experimental aircraft, missile tests. They found nothing. They even noted that the witness was a mature individual, basically saying he was credible. In their final verdict, no explanation for the sighting. Just like that, it officially went into the books as a true unknown.
Okay, now stay with me here because this is where it gets really interesting. In that exact same year, just a few months later, another report comes in, this time from a whole group of employees at the Thiokol plant over near Brigham City.
So again, let's look at the details. We've got multiple witnesses, which is huge, a whole group of maintenance workers. And the shape, it's different again. It's not a disc, it's not a fireball. This time, they saw 2 distinct V-shaped objects in the night sky.
Their story described this really quick but super clear event. For just about 3 seconds, they watched these 2 V-shapes flying at a really high speed, and then, poof, they just faded into the darkness.
So you've got multiple witnesses, high-speed, V-shaped objects. What did the Air Force conclude? Well, get ready for this. They determined that the sighting was, and I am quoting directly from the file here, descriptive of an observation of 2 low-flying birds. Birds.
And this is where the real mystery of Project Blue Book itself starts to come into focus, right? Just think about it. You've got 2 cases from the exact same year. One, a fireball seen by a single police guard, gets labeled a complete unknown. But 2 V-shaped objects seen by a whole group of people, that gets dismissed as birds. The difference is just, wow, it's so striking. It really makes you wonder what was going on. What drove these totally different conclusions? Was it the evidence? Or were the investigators sometimes just looking for the easiest, quickest explanation they could find?
You know, this kind of thing, this inconsistency, all these unanswered questions just piling up year after year, it might be part of the reason this whole era of official investigation was about to come to a screeching halt. The year everything changed? 1969.
Yep. Just 5 years after those strange Utah sightings we just talked about, the U.S. Air Force just shut it all down. Project Blue Book was officially terminated. The government's job of investigating UFO reports from the public, it was over, done.
And honestly, that policy pretty much stands today. If you call up Hill Air Force Base, they'll confirm it. They do not investigate any claims of unexplained stuff in the sky. For an official investigation to even happen now, the request has to come from way up top, from Headquarters Air Force. So for the most part, that book remains closed.
So here's what we're left with. We have the official records, real military files talking about silver discs, unexplained fireballs, and high-speed V-shapes, all seen by credible, trained witnesses. Yeah, Project Blue Book was shut down in 1969, but when you look back at these really strange reports from the skies over Utah, you have to ask yourself, the investigations might have ended, but did the mystery ever really go away?